Hey, it's Allison Angeles, your host of Silicon Sanctuary podcast and also YouTube, Allison Angeles, Angelis. Follow me on Instagram too. Would love it. Like, subscribe, and comment below. Okay, so quickly, I just talked in the first episode, we were talking about the 4 different universal laws: law of attraction, law of deliberate manifesting, deliberate creating, law of allowing, then law of receiving. So today I want to talk to you a little bit, blending those together, but mostly talking about law of deliberate creation. And one thing that I've talked about in the past is a little project that you can do, not even a little project, but a really eye-opening and helpful, empowering project that you can do for yourself, and you can also do with others or with your children or parents or whoever that you really care about. And this project I developed is called Creating Your Avatar. So basically, you've seen the movie Avatar, and, the place was this utopian, society with the wisdom tree. And so I'm talking about making yourself into your ultimate, actually just aligning with your highest self is what it is. It's not even that you have to create it, because it already exists. You just have to align with it. So let me tell you a little bit more about that. In the past podcast, I talked to you about deliberately creating, which is equal to, manifesting what you want in your life. So a lot of people get stuck because they're not really quite sure on what they want. And I said that the answer to that is to ask what you want in prayer or in meditation and listen for answers. And then when you get the feeling of excitement, that's something that you're really good at, that's something that you like to do, that's something that inspires other people, that's something that contributes and is in the realm of love and abundance. And it also, ideally, what would be really ideal is if it also manifested abundance, which usually it will if it's something that you love. We can talk about that more in detail on the next episodes as well. So creating your avatar basically means writing down all the properties and qualities that you want to have in your life. So about your own individual physical body and your mental and emotional and social body as well. So what does that look like? Get a piece of paper, a pen, whatever you would like to write with. You can also do it on a document on your laptop computer, or you could also record it with any recording device or your phone. So, and I'll tell you my personal experience. Okay. I think experience is the best teacher. So, actually about 16 years ago, I wrote down creating my own avatar. And what I did was I took a piece of paper and I wrote down what I envisioned of my ultimate self, what I would act like, be like, look like, who I would be aligned with, what I would be doing, where I would be living, the environment, and every detail that excited me that I came up with. And so I'll give you an example of several of the things that I wrote. And back then I actually thought that I was creating from scratch this person, but I realized the reason why I was really getting excited about it as I was writing it down, it's like somebody that I already knew, because it was already myself that I was creating. It's more of an excavation than it is a creation. Several wisdom traditions say that there's the self that you exist in right now. There's also another self of you that is your higher self, your divine self, that is also is already there, is already exists, and already manifested. And every time that you talk to your higher self, That's the spiritual guide, that one of the spiritual guides that you're connecting with is your higher dimensional self. So excavating that, what does that look like? Get a piece of paper and, or again, laptop or recording, and start writing down details about, start with whatever comes to you first. If it was, I wake up in the morning early at sunrise. The first thing I do is what is it? Take a hot shower or a bath or a cold shower. I meditate for 15 minutes, sitting still, single point of focus, looking to clear the logical mental mind construct to be able to connect to the heart, which is basically connecting to God consciousness, your higher self, and where all your personal power lies beyond your own small self. So meditation, prayer. I actually start my morning every morning. I get up at sunrise. I open all the doors to my house. I breathe in the fresh air. It's remarkably sweet where I live. And I take, several deep, thoughtful, conscious breaths, connecting my mind to my body. And then I pray, and I do a prayer that I've designed. And how it works is I go in stages, and the first part of the prayer is first thing is I ask to connect to God consciousness. You can say it any way that you want. Heavenly Father, God consciousness. Some people like to pray to Christ, Lord, and some people call in their higher guides, or people that are family members that have passed, for example. So, and you can also call in your higher self. And then once I do that invocation and connect, I go straight to the first part of the prayer is gratitude. And gratitude, and when you start speaking it, you might not even feel the feelings that are connected to the gratitude, but if you at least speak it, and I start just listing out things. I like prayer because I do it out loud. And I start listing out the things that I'm grateful for. And you start realizing at first it feels like a little silly, like, oh, thank you for my body, and my intelligent mind. But those are things that, because they seem silly, it's that we're so used to that we've taken them, as they say, for granted. We're not even having an awareness of how great that is and how grand that is to have a physical body that connects to, the five senses of touch, sound, taste, smell, hearing, and then, 5D consciousness as well. But, and then having the physical body to navigate throughout the planet. And so having gratitude for that, and then going from there to all the other things, because I'm certain if you're listening to this that you've been granted many, many, many things to be grateful for. And you always want to focus on those things. You don't want to focus in the realm of fear and lack of what's missing and what's wrong, and the stories and beliefs that you're habitualized, which are in the realms of fear and lack. You want to focus on gratitude. So starting with that, once I segue out of that, I go into praying for others. So this is a new development for me in the last couple years. I was before that, I'll be quite honest, very self-focused, and I was chasing fulfillment and happiness through trying to fulfill myself, and I never arrived at it, because you can't get it that way. So what I realized is when I went to gratitude and then prayer for others, in the realm of service and contribution, that got me out of my endless empty ghost wanting. So I pray for others. For me personally, I start with my children. I pray for each and every one of them individually, speak their names out loud, and say a prayer that's connected to my higher self. So it comes out very differently than the way it would if I was connected to my small self. And it's it's really beautiful when you can hear yourself speaking through your higher self. It's a completely different experience. Try it. And, or if you do, like, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Then I also start, I pray for other people that pop into my mind, and I will pray for people that are, I'm not very connected to if they come into my mind. And I might pray for their children as well, or their parents or their families, or whatever they have mentioned to me that they're struggling with. And then the best part of praying for others that has been extremely um, fulfilling for me and helpful is to pray for those that I've had struggles with, and feeling complete compassion. And if I can't feel compassion, then I pray for my own self. I pray for forgiveness for my own self, for compassion for my own self, for all the other people that I have ever harmed in my life, or co-created a harmful environment, a harmful relationship. I pray for being able to let those cords go, and so I can increase my own feelings of well-being, my own feelings of wholeness, and so that they can be untethered to that as well. And I will tell you with 100% certainty that it works non-locally, that you can affect others through your prayers of forgiveness and compassion for yourself in the co-creation that you had with them that was less than empowering. And you can also see them from a more of a astral plane point of view, and see them as a whole spiritual being living a temporary experience in a temporary body. And instead of seeing them on the lower egoic level, see them in their higher divine self level. And always pray for that for others, for their higher selves, and look to see that. Okay, so that's part 2 of the prayer. And now here's getting to the action part, the doing part, is to pray for the deliberate creation of what you're trying to, what you in your mind believe is your desires, your wanting to manifest. And for me, it's about my life's purpose. So it can be smaller things. It doesn't have to be something grand, but I lay out, and I lay out what my design is, and I say, this is what I believe, this is what I'm striving for, and I'll lay it out in detail. And I believe that this is my contribution and my purpose. This is what I want. And if it's not to be, I accept that, I surrender to that, and then replace that and show me something else that you'd prefer for me to be in alignment with if I'm not on the correct path. And then I'll go into more detail about it. And I might say some specific things, like I'm looking to connect with other people that are creating the same types of content that I am, on physical wellness, as well as being able to connect to your higher self, God consciousness, mindfulness, being aware of your mind states, whether or not you're in the realm of fear and lack, or love and light, or love, I don't want to say love and light, but love and abundance. I'm looking to co-create and connect with other people that are in all those different realms. And some people are scientists, and some people are religious people, some people are spiritual leaders. Some people have developed their own, science methodologies. All of them I'm interested in collaborating with and co-creation with, because it's all, data points of information and inspiration for all of us. So I will lay that out in the third part of my prayer, and I will ask for very specific things. And I also will ask for trust and surrender, that I'm able to trust that it will manifest, and to surrender to the process. And then I'll ask for a little extra fun thing, and I'll say, looking for a specific miracle like thing that I will notice in the day, that could be very subtle or very insidious, something small. And so that when something magical does happen in the day, it's a little sign of affirmation. It's quite exciting, like one butterfly that flies over your backyard, near you, or something that seems silly when you're on the lower vibrational state of lower consciousness, small self. But when you're in a higher state of vibrational consciousness, you'll see it for what it is. And it's magic and serendipity and alignment with God consciousness. Okay, so creating your avatar. Wow, that was a little bit of a diversion there. So designing yourself, talking about, I know where I was. I was talking about my day. So I wake up. I actually get in the shower first thing. I used to get in the tub, but I get in the shower first thing, open all the doors to my house. I make myself a green drink that I love. Okay, shout out to Organifi, Drew Cannoli. I love it. And and the prayer or meditation. Meditation's nice too. I've done years and years and years of meditation, and I'll talk more about that more deeply going forward, because there's different styles of meditation that have different functionalities. So I use the prayer process. It's a form of meditation as well. So then I go about intentionally and deliberately creating my day, getting myself into the realm of love and abundance through what I eat, through the fact that I slept for 8 hours and I woke up early. I'm also very aware of insidious mind states that are coming in that are not empowering, that I'm aware of through the way that I feel. If I start to feel like I'm anxious or I'm starting to get low, I'll have an awareness about that, and I'll actually go to prayer immediately to move that energy. There's breath work that you can do. You can do Wim Hof breath work. There's ways to alter your consciousness. One of the big ones that I use that I've mentioned before is movement, exercise, physical exercise. Being out in nature and movement is it like a double whammy? Great. For me, it's yoga, it's weightlifting, it's hiking, it's I'm actually getting into biking, but what are you into physical exercise wise? Dance is fantastic. You get the benefit of music and movement and levity and fun and beauty. So figure out what your thing is to move your physical body, to create those chemical reactions inside your body that release the hormones that give you the change of the mind, the processor, into the higher realms of empowering state, higher realms of consciousness. So that's creating your avatar, is writing down specifically what your ideal person would look like. And also talking about, physical things, what you want to look like physically, how you want to speak, whether or not you want to curse or you don't want to curse, whether you want to, read more so you can be, talk about different things that you've read, whether you want to change your appearance, whether you want to, change your associations. Very important, by the way. Your environment, as within, so without, and as without, so within. So I deeply believe in that. So be very aware that the people that you're interacting with on any level are affecting your mind states. I'm very selective with the energy that I allow into my life, and I'm very selective with it. I try to see everybody from their highest self standpoints, but some people are very I don't want to say dangerous, but they're very capable of bringing down your mind state. So you have to be only doing activities. I would recommend doing activities with those. You can be in parallel in tandem doing activities that bring up your mind states. Some people you can talk with and do that. Most people haven't done enough work to do that, but you can do physical exercise with somebody. You can go for hikes and rides and do yoga and weightlift with people. But again, notice how you feel when you're around them. If you don't feel good, limit your time out or completely get rid of that association if you can, and not in a compassionate way. So that's part of creating your avatar too, is creating your environment, not only the environment of the people that you're around and associating with, and you can navigate that. And then also in creating the environment, the physical environment that you're around, and working on that as well, creating your own physical body, creating the way that you think, creating what you do, realizing, asking what your purpose is, and delving into what those things are that bring you joy, that also can create joy and inspiration to others and contribute to others. That's the avatar creation process. Write it down, design him or her, or they, we, he, she, whatever. It doesn't matter to me, but you should be excited about the person that you're designing. And then you can start editing it as time goes by. And one great thing about writing it down is that, and I keep notes of everything that I've written over decades. And writing, you will look back and you will see what you've manifested through writing. And for me, it's literally about 99% of everything that I've written down, I've created. So it's a fun activity. It's a workshop activity. And have fun with that today. Create your avatar and feel really good about the person that you've created. And actually, you're not really creating it. Remember, you're excavating it because you already exist like that. You just need to align with it. Okay. Thanks for listening. Go ahead and write down in the comments below any comments. Subscribe. Hit that little bell so it dings on your phone. And I'm going to start releasing content, a podcast every week, once a week on the Fridays. YouTube videos, hopefully, will be every day. Instagram stories, Allison Angelis, like Angel with an IS, Angel is at the end. First name Allison, 1L. Okay, you guys, love you. Bye.